Glock perfection, but unfortunately not in the real steel version, not in this part of the UK anyway. This is in fact the Umarex C02 powered BB version, 4.5mm BB or 177, and I've got to tell you, it is pretty cool actually. A real cool back garden plinker. Now, before I go in depth to this review, I am a big fan of these C02 guns. I really am, and well, I'm a big fan of air pistols. Full stop. You know, I've got one or two, and while I was sort of preparing this video, it kind of made me think to myself, God, air guns have really come a long way, haven't they? Especially air pistols. They've really come a long way in, you know, in the last sort of, I don't know, 10, 20 years, probably longer than that. I mean, one of my first, I've not actually got one, but one of my first air pistols was the good old Gat gun. I'll throw out a picture of that if I've got a picture. I'll find one on Google for you. The classic Gat gun, that was probably my first ever gun, and that was it. I was hooked on that, firing corks and darts and pellets. Just brilliant bit of kit that thing was, especially when you're like 9 or 10 years old. And then you sort of upgrade, don't you? As you get a little bit older, you start to get the big boys. Oh, the classic Webley Tempest. Man, I have had this thing for years and years. In fact, it's had that many shots through it, I'm surprised it's actually got any rifling left. God, I've shot some rats with this thing around the farm. What a classic. Let's just move the Glock out of the way. Sorry, Glock, I'll get back to you in a minute. Just doing a bit of nostalgic stuff at the minute. What a classic the Tempest is. What was the big one? The big one with the back, was it the, I forget the name of it, Tempest. There was another one. I can't think of it. It's off the top of my head. And then coming like a few years on, you start getting the CO2 powered ones, like the Webley Nemesis, a multi-shot one. So we sort of move on from the single shot like the Gat gun and the Webley Tempest, and you get stuff like this that will take multi-shot magazines, what I've done with the magazine. So that's cool, done a review of that. That's quite a cool little air pistol. But I think the problem, probably my gripe with the CO2 guns is, not only have you got to buy pellets or BBs or whatever, but you've then got the expensive starting to buy CO2 capsules. But you know, whatever. They're not majorly expensive, are they? But it's just another little expense if you're on a budget. But you know, it is what it is for your hobby, isn't it? And then I've got a few more here. Then you've got multi-shot. Again, similar to that. I mean, this one, I'm sort of jumping ahead. The Nemesis, each shot you've got to sort of operate the bolt. It's got nothing in. I think the safety's on actually. No, it's not firing because there's nothing in. Is it? No. Oh, hang on, I've got the safety on. Yeah, there's no gas in it anyway. It's got the single shot tray in at the minute, that has. So that was like a manually operated multi-shot. And then you get something like this. I reviewed this a while back. The Sig Sauer M17 pellet version, and you've got a different style of magazine here. Like it's almost like a chain magazine. Okay, so you press this, CO2 bulb goes in there, and then you've got this magazine. And it's like on a belt or a chain where you put your pellets in, and you can really load it up. And as you basically pull the trigger, the double action mechanism in there rotates that magazine, and it is really cool. And that's blowback as well, so that is really cool. Double action. Probably one of my favourite replicas. The M17 is, especially in the desert tan. Really, really cool. And then we can even go as far as to say airsoft plays a part. Commander DP18 ASG. This is a cool little pistol. 6mm plastic BBs. I think I've got some here. So rather than pellets, you want to shoot some BBs. You know, there's loads to go at if you want to do some back garden plinking. Loads to go at. And as I do this video, we are currently, unfortunately, in the lockdown here in the UK. You probably are where you are now. I know most of the world is. So, you know, when you're bored and you need a bit of back garden plinking, then air pistols are really, really good, and they really do come into their own. But you're limited, aren't you? It all depends on how many of those CO2 cartridges you've got, because once you run them out, you're pretty much screwed unless you've got something like that. Then you're just pellet dependent. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of throw out a bit of a mix. Let's get rid of these. Oh God, I love that M17. Love it, love it. I might keep that on the table. Just let's get rid of these and let's talk about the Glock, the Umarex Glock, licensed by Glock as well. So the quality is quite good, quite good. In fact, it's very good. Let's throw out some specs. So, takes 12 gram CO2 cartridge, 2 joules maximum energy, fires steel BBs, okay? Semi-automatic blowback, 18 round magazine, smooth bore, so it's not a rifled barrel, double action, 187 millimeters in length, weighing in at 675 grams. Okay, the Glock 17 Gen 5, and got all the, like I say, the licensed Glock decals on there, even the handle. Really, really cool. You've even got serial numbers on there. Really cool. In fact, the only thing that gives it away is where the safety is. You've got where it says the caliber there, and that's nice that they've put it there, because usually they put that on the side and it kind of spoils it, but they've not done it on this. This just looks pretty much authentic, really does. So that is cool for you guys that want some, you know, a bit more realism. Then it don't get much more real than that as far as CO2s are concerned. Right then, we'll talk about the magazine to start with. So, oh, we've still got gas in here. I think it is an empty cartridge actually. So to load in your gas or unload your gas, you just move the magazine plate there, heel, base plate, whatever you want to call it. And then you need, I've not actually got it here, have I got it? Oh yeah, it's in the box. Let me just get the, where is it, what have I done with it? I think I've lost it. The Allen key, I will get it honestly. You get this Allen key tool, which is basically, it's got everything on it that you need for this little CO2 gun. I'm doing this in reverse, so I'm taking the CO2 out. So there's a big grub screw there. If you can see it, get it in the light. Use your Allen wrench there. And obviously you'll be doing this opposite to how I'm doing it right now. But so you'd put your CO2 cartridge in there, like so, and then just wind it up until you hear it slightly hiss, and that charges it and pierces your 12 gram CO2 cartridge. Okay, so that's what this thing basically runs on. Once you've got your cartridge in, it's just a matter of loading up your BBs, which is pretty simple. So this little spring-loaded thing here, you pull it all the way down and push it to the side like that. And then I was just dropping them in through that hole, and they were just rolling down, all 18 rounds in, and then just push that back to the side, and then it give them some, basically some upward pressure, some spring pressure to obviously feed the gun as you fire it. Really, really cool. Blowback action as well. So, oh yeah, make sure you put slide the base plate of the magazine back on just to protect the grub screw in there. Load your magazine in, which goes in nice and firmly, not too rattly. And then you don't really have to operate the slide to sort of load in the first round or anything, because it pretty much does that anyway on the double action. But everything works just like on the real thing. So when you've fired your last shot, the slide will hold open. So really, really, really nice. And then when you pull the trigger, obviously, you have got a safety catch under there. I didn't use that because it is a bit of a pain. Just rely on the Glock trigger safety. But once you fire it, you get the blowback. Like I say, that gas is empty anyway, even if it was in. Double action, just works like a normal Glock, pretty much. And you can just fire it, you know, as fast as you can or whatever. What I did find, whether it's just the newness of this gun, I found that the trigger wasn't resetting properly. It sort of sticks, so you'll probably see me in the footage where I sort of get my trigger finger behind it and push the trigger forward. It was a little bit sticky, probably just wants a bit of silicone in there, spraying in just to, you know, lube it up a bit. But yeah, really, really cool. And it felt sort of recoil, you know, it's a C02 pistol, guys. But, you know, it does feel good. These blowbacks do feel really good. Just a real nice little bag on plinker. I was getting, I don't know, I was getting quite a few shots out of one of these C02 cartridges. I bet you I was probably getting around, don't know, 4 magazines, something like that. You know, so probably sort of around, let's say around 80 shots before they really started dropping off. Obviously temperature dependent, but you know, really cool, really cool. I set up a steel gong, actually. You'll see in the footage. You know, it was an AR 500 50 cal proof gong from Tom's Targets. You know, and it started after a few shots. It was sort of just swaying it slightly. It was quite cool, actually, and amazingly, it was quite safe because none of those BBs were bouncing back. They were literally just hitting it and dropping to the floor. So that was really cool. But yeah, just a real nice little pistol. You know, obviously it's a Glock 17 Gen 5. It looks exactly like it. You've got a rail here, bit of Picatinny rail, so you could put on a torch or a laser or something like that if you wanted to. Mag release is there, very positive. You know, it'd be cool if you could, if this gun was supplied with an extra magazine, so you had 2, so you could sort of practice your reloads. Can you get spare magazines for it? I would imagine you can. It'd be worth contacting Umrex. And then you could do some real cool drills in your backyard with this thing. But yeah, really nice. One of the nicest, most authentic replica CO2 pistols I've used in a long time. You know, it really does look the part. There's your sight picture if you're interested. Just loving these decals on the side. The detail is just really nice. Really, really nice. This would just make a nice display piece even if you didn't fire it or use it or anything. It really would just make a nice display piece. But let's have a look. Let's have a closer look in the, that's where you slide back. So that's the guts with the magazine out. Show you guys in there. Looking down the mag well too. Polymer frame, steel slide there. Really cool. And there's your slide release, like I mentioned. What a cool little gun. I'll show you the box. Box is pretty cool. Well, it's very cool actually. The box is, let me just close it up because it's all open and everything. Let me do this properly, I'm not prepared. Check out the box, that is nice. And a nice cardboard box as well, not one of these plastic things that everyone hates. Well, I hate them anyway. They're plastic boxes that you get that you sort of literally just throw straight in the recycling once you've got the gun home. I don't like them. Get a cardboard box, better for the environment. And do you know what? I'm not one of these people that keep hold of cardboard boxes, but I would for this because it does actually look really nice. It really does look nice. Thanks to Livens as well for this loan gun. Got to give him a shout out. So yeah, the box is really nice. Got Glock's logos on there. Like I said, licensed, officially licensed product of Glock. There you go. So there you have it. What's in the box? Well, you get the gun, you get some bubble wrap to play with when you're really bored on lockdown. Your tool as well. I think the end of that is for adjusting the, what would that be for? It's for adjusting something. We'll probably find out in a minute when I look through the manual. Manual is not bad actually. Find the English bit first and then you are laughing if you are, there we go. It's at the front. Ah, that's nice. It's at the front. All your usual do's and don'ts in the manual. Black and white photos, but no, they're pretty good. They're well detailed. Shows you the safety catch there. Shows you how to load in your C02. Nice and easy. How to load in the BBs. Oh, blimey, I was doing it correctly. That's nice. Sight picture, all your sort of basic stuff, pretty much. How to clean the barrel if you need to clean the barrel out. So yeah, pretty cool. It's, you know, it's basic. It's not, you know, it's full of everyone else's language in there, but not a bad manual at all. But I do particularly like the box. I'm not really a box fan, if that makes sense, but it's cool. It's all right. The boxes, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I was using these ASG blasters. These seem to work all right. Accuracy, this is not a gun I really show a target on, but I was shooting that steel gong, and I did shoot a bit of paper. I don't know what I've done with the target, but it looked pretty much like a tea bag by the time I'd finished. But it's just a thrill, isn't it, firing one of these? It's all right, not as thrilling as the real thing, trust me, I know. But just cool for in the back garden. Set up a little stage. Make sure you backstop and you know you've got no ricochet issues or anything like that, and always wear your eyes as well when you, especially with BBs, steel BBs, they have got a tendency to come straight back at you. But no, the Glock 17 Gen 5, I really like this thing, especially I think for its main, the main thing I like it is for its authenticity and the way it looks. It really does look the business. You know, it's very hard to tell it from the real thing unless you pull the slide back or empty or drop the mag out, and obviously see that underneath. Yes, I've fired real Glocks before anyone asks in the video, in the details of the video. But yeah, I like it. I do like it. What are these retailing at? I don't like to say prices. Just check out Livens' website if you're here in the UK. You know, I think are they around about the £100 mark? Might be a bit more. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. What other options have you got? If you like your Glocks, then it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Getting a Glock. Like I said, I do like the SIGs. I do like the SIG M17. I do like that. That is just a cool air pistol, but that is pellet and that is BB. So, you know, rifle barrel on this one, I believe. So it's, you know, each to his own. I mean, if you're like me, just get both. Well, this one is mine, but the Glock isn't. But I'd seriously be tempted to get one of these Glocks. It's a real fun, and like I said, a real nice, authentic looking piece. It really is cool. Anyway, guys, that is your rack and load review of the Umarex licensed Glock 17 Gen 5 C02 BB. Yeah, I wish it was 9, I really do. But we're here in the UK. Enough said about that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That is Rack and Load. See ya.